Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, do they really love you, or just something you happen to represent for them? At the time, it might have felt like genuine affection. But when you look back, was it truly love, or just a reflection of their own unmet needs? Jung once said, "We don't fall in love with the person themselves, but with the image we create of them." And that one statement reveals a deep truth about human connection, a truth we often overlook. Today, I want to invite you into the world of Jungian psychology, to explore two profound reasons why someone might fall for you. This isn't about surface-level attraction. It's about deeply rooted psychological patterns, formed in the unconscious, fueled by projection and inner longing. Understanding this won't just help you protect your heart. It will help you reclaim your truth, set healthy boundaries, and learn how to love consciously, honestly, and fully. Let's begin this journey inward. Reason 1: the projection of their ideal image. In Carl Jung's analytical psychology, projection is one of the most powerful unconscious processes in relationships. It happens when a person unknowingly throws parts of their inner world, such as dreams, desires, or fears, onto someone else. In the context of romantic love, this means they don't fall in love with the real you. They fall in love with the image they need you to be. It sounds harsh, but it explains why some relationships start out like a fairy tale, only to end in disappointment, conflict, and pain. Jung believed that every man carries within him an inner image of the feminine, called the anima. And every woman carries an inner image of the masculine, called the animus. These archetypes are shaped in childhood, influenced by early experiences with the opposite sex parent, cultural expectations, and unacknowledged desires. When we meet someone who matches that inner image, we are not just drawn to them. We feel like it's destiny. Falling in love, in many cases, is the activation of a projected archetype. That's why it feels like fate. Carl Jung. Sarah and the Savior Illusion. Sarah, 37, is a nurse who has always been the rock of her family. She's strong, devoted, and naturally giving. When she met Daniel, a charming, sensitive man who seemed a little lost, something inside her lit up. He called her his saving angel. He said it was the first time in his life he felt truly understood. Sarah thought, he really sees me for who I am. But over time, the compliments turned into dependence. Daniel began expecting Sarah to fix everything: his job struggles, his emotions, his loneliness. And when she no longer had the energy to give, he grew distant, cold, even resentful. Why? Because Daniel didn't love Sarah. He loved the image of a healer, a nurturing mother, a savior. An ideal he had projected onto her. And when reality no longer matched the fantasy, that illusion crumbled. Projection is magnetic. It creates the feeling of meant to be, like you've found your missing piece. But it's a mirror, not a window. We don't truly see the other person. We see parts of ourselves reflected through them, desires, fears, wounded egos. And when they stop playing the role of the ideal, or dare to step outside the mold we unconsciously placed on them, we feel betrayed. But it's not betrayal. It's just the truth. Signs you are being projected onto. Would you like me to continue with the signs that indicate you're being projected onto? 5. Signs you're being idealized by someone and they don't truly love the real you. 1. They fall for you too quickly, too deeply, without really knowing you. Have you ever met someone who, after just 2 dates, said things like, "I've never connected with anyone like this before. I think you're the one I've been waiting for my whole life." Sounds romantic, but be careful. Falling too fast is usually not love. It's projection. They don't really know who you are, so they fill in the blanks with their fantasies and unconscious needs. Anna, 32, shared that her new boyfriend kept saying, "You're the light in my darkness." But when she declined to move in after just 1 month, he suddenly turned cold, calling her selfish and distant. 2. They put you on a pedestal, then tear you down when you show your true self. A classic sign of projection is from intense admiration to deep disappointment, all because you didn't match their perfect image. At first, you were the most amazing person they've ever met. But once you expressed your own opinions, felt tired, or didn't meet their expectations, they started seeing you as different, distant, or not who I thought you were. Brian fell for a girl who was sweet and gentle. But when she voiced her need for space and alone time, he snapped. "You're not the person I fell in love with." 3. They dismiss your real emotions because they don't fit the fantasy. Ever feel like you're not allowed to have negative emotions in a relationship? When you're sad, stressed, or hurt, instead of comforting you, they act like you're being a burden, too negative, or ruining their dream. That's because your real emotions threaten the idealized image they've projected onto you. A man might view you as a strong woman who never complains. But when you break down from work stress, he says, "You're being weak. This isn't like you." The truth: he never saw the real you to begin with. 4. You feel pressure to be your best self all the time. You feel like you always have to be strong, charming, smart, inspiring. Even when you're exhausted, discouraged, or just want to be real. That pressure isn't coming from you. It's from the invisible expectations they've placed on you through their projection. Carl Jung said projection often comes from someone's rejected inner shadow. They can't accept imperfections in themselves, so they don't allow you to have any either. 5. You're not truly seen, you're being used to fill their emotional void. One of the deepest signs of projection is this. You're no longer seen as a person, you become a tool to heal, complete, or save them. They are lonely. You must make them feel worthy. They are insecure. You must make them feel enough. They want to feel understood. You must always be available to listen. You're not allowed to be unavailable. You're not allowed to ask questions. James told his girlfriend, "You're the only reason life feels worth living." But when she asked for some space, he guilt-tripped her and made her feel selfish. They love the image, not the real you. If you recognize yourself in these signs, remember, you deserve to be loved for who you are, without performing, without perfection. You were not born to fulfill anyone's fantasy. You were born to be seen, understood, and loved, as a whole human being, with both light and shadow. If you've been projected onto, here's how to heal and reconnect with your true self. Have you ever felt like they didn't really love you, but rather a version of you they imagined? They expected you to always be strong, always kind, always understanding, always there for them. And the moment you showed exhaustion, doubt, or independence, you were suddenly no longer ideal in their eyes. Carl Jung called this idealizing projection, when someone unconsciously throws their unhealed expectations and desires onto another person. 1. You feel like you're always acting. You constantly feel the need to seem fine. You're not allowed to be angry, not allowed to be vulnerable. Because if you stop being the perfect girl or the ideal guy, they pull away or criticize. 2. You feel there's no room for the real you in this relationship. They love your gentleness, but don't accept when you need space. They love your calm nature, but avoid you when you show true sadness. 3. When you're hurt, they make you feel guilty. When you need to be heard, they say, "I thought you understood me. You're not like that. You've changed." But in reality, you haven't changed. You're just taking off the mask they unconsciously placed on you. You may carry the energy of a healer, an empath, or someone who's learned to earn love by meeting others' needs. But it's time to come home to yourself. Let me know if you'd like this formatted as a script, audiobook, or for social media content. I can adapt it accordingly. Especially if you grew up in an environment where you had to be good, obedient, and considerate. You once loved someone who was emotionally wounded and thought, "I can save them." You define your self-worth by how much you give, instead of being seen and receiving in return. If you're not aware, what might happen? 1. You lose your identity. You begin to doubt yourself. Am I being selfish? Have I changed? 2. You become a supplier of emotions, instead of a person with emotions. They only come to you when they need something, comfort, advice, attention. But when you need a shoulder to lean on, they disappear. 3. You become emotionally drained, but too afraid to leave. Because you believe, if I'm good enough, they'll change. This is a dangerous illusion that prolongs toxic relationships. Step 1. Name the truth. Stop and be honest with yourself. I am being loved for an image, not for who I really am. Don't be afraid of this truth. It doesn't make you weak, it's the beginning of your strength. Step 2. Reclaim your true identity. Take out a pen and paper and write down, who am I when I'm not trying to please anyone? What do I truly like and dislike? Can I express my real emotions in this relationship? This exercise helps you distinguish between the real me and who I'm expected to be. Step 3. Set clear emotional boundaries. You don't have to meet every expectation to be loved. You have the right to say no to roles others try to assign you. For example, when someone demands you always understand them, you can gently say, "I want to understand you, but I also have my own emotions. I can't always be the strong one. I love you, but I can't always be the one who heals you. We can heal together, but I can't do it alone." Remember, real love allows both people to be their true selves, not idealized versions. Step 4. Observe instead of absorbing. When they compliment you excessively, learn to listen without internalizing it. They say, "You're amazing. You can smile and think, maybe, but I'm also human. I have the right to be tired. I don't have to be perfect." Don't let praise become a golden cage that traps you in the role of the angel. Step 5. Decide, stay or leave. After everything, ask yourself, can this person learn to love the real me? Or do they only love the image they want to see? If they are willing to heal with you, you can invite them into the truth. But if they deny, reject, or attack you when you show up authentically, take it as a sign that it's time to free yourself. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." You weren't born to play a role for someone else. You were born to live fully as yourself. If you're being projected onto, see it as an invitation to return inward, to reclaim your truth, your strength, and your dignity. And if you realize you are the one projecting, here's how real healing begins. According to Carl Jung, projection is an unconscious process where you assign your inner psychological parts onto others. You don't love that person. You love the image you created out of pain, dreams, and unhealed shadows. And if you're brave enough to admit, "I'm projecting," that's not weakness. That's the beginning of emotional maturity. Signs you're projecting onto someone in love. 1. You fall in love too fast and too intensely. You barely know the person, yet you already feel like this is fate. You idealize them, seeing them as a savior, a god, or the perfect soulmate. 2. You expect them to fill emotional voids inside you. You want them to heal your past wounds. You expect them to always understand you, comfort you, or make you feel worthy. 3. You get disappointed and withdraw when they are not like they used to be. Once they show flaws or vulnerabilities, you start feeling irritated or stop loving them altogether. It's not that they changed. It's that the fantasy you created no longer matches reality. Projection often stems from our inner, shadow parts, according to Carl Jung. If you lacked fatherly love, you might project the image of an ideal father onto a strong man. If you were once betrayed, you might project blind trust onto someone new just to feel safe. If you felt undervalued, you might fall for someone you think will validate you, even if they don't truly know you. Projection is a psychological defense mechanism, but it also blocks genuine connection. So how do we move past it? 1. Practice shadow work. Shadow work is the process of recognizing and making peace with parts of yourself that you usually reject, like feelings of inadequacy, fear of abandonment, or loneliness. Try this exercise. Write down what you wish your ideal partner would give you. I want them to make me feel. Then ask, why can't I give that to myself? 2. Separate the real person from the fantasy. Pause and see them as a human being, not a symbol. Self-reflection prompts. Am I loving them for who they are, or for how they make me feel? Who am I expecting them to become? Talk to them. Listen without labeling. Sometimes, real love begins when the illusion fades. 3. Learn to love without emotional dependency. True love isn't, "I need you to feel whole." It's, "I'm whole, and I choose you to share life with." How to get there? Build your own life, hobbies, friendships, alone time. Learn how to manage emotions when you're rejected, disappointed, or not prioritized. Avoid emotional clinginess, needing someone else to validate your worth. Projection isn't a bad thing if you use it to grow. Carl Jung once said, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. Everyone you've loved, idealized, or been disappointed by, is a mirror reflecting parts of you. And if you're brave enough to look inward, you'll realize you don't need someone to be perfect for you to feel worthy of love. Try this. Ask, what part of me am I looking for in them? Journal about your ideal partner image. Are you trying to fill a void? Practice shadow work. Reconnect with the parts of you that have been neglected. Why this matters: from illusion to real love. Have you ever wondered why some relationships start like a fairy tale but fall apart quickly? Why we fall in love with an image, a fantasy, not the real person? Today, we explore one of the most important concepts in the psychology of love, based on the deep insights of Jung, the journey from illusion to authentic love. Illusions in love, nature, and impact. First, let's clarify what an illusion in love really is. When we talk about illusion, we are referring to psychological projection, a central concept in Carl Jung's psychoanalysis. When you're in love, you're not always loving the real person. Instead, you often unconsciously assign them traits that you desire, need, or even lack in yourself. For example, you may see the other person as perfect, intelligent, strong, or compassionate, but that may just be the image you want them to embody, not who they actually are. As a result, when their true self begins to show, with flaws and limitations, this contrast creates conflict, disappointment, or even pain. True love, moving beyond illusion. So, how do we move from illusion to true love? According to Jung, true love requires awareness and acceptance of each other's real selves, both strengths and weaknesses. It's a love rooted in deep understanding, not idealized fantasy. This isn't easy. It requires you to let go of old idealized images in your mind. Face your own limitations and those of your partner. Give each other the freedom to be authentically themselves. When you can do that, you're no longer in love with a fantasy, you're in love with a real, living, imperfect human being. Real-life examples and research. Modern psychological research backs this up. A study by Dr. Arthur Aaron, a renowned psychologist on human connection, found that couples who maintain long-term relationships are often those who accept and respect each other's imperfections instead of trying to change them. In fact, when one partner tries to mold the other into an ideal, conflict tends to increase, raising the risk of a breakup. Take the example of Anna and Mark. At first, Anna was drawn to Mark's sweetness and attentiveness, but over time, she realized he wasn't as perfect as she imagined. Instead of walking away, Anna chose to accept Mark's flaws and work with him on their challenges. As a result, they built a meaningful and lasting relationship. So, what can you do to shift from illusion to true love? Here are a few practical steps. 1. Self-awareness. Take time to observe your emotions when you're with your partner. Are you loving their real self, or the image you've created in your mind? 2. Practice mindfulness. This helps you observe and accept your true thoughts and emotions without judgment. 3. Communicate openly and honestly. Share what you genuinely feel, both the joys and the struggles. 4. Respect differences and limits. Remember, no one is perfect. Relationships are not about changing your partner, but about growing together. 5. Set healthy boundaries. Don't lose yourself in a fantasy to the point that you forget your own needs. If you've ever been hurt by loving an illusion, or feel like your relationship is being strained by unrealistic expectations, start with this awareness. Choose to love authentically. Choose to let go of the idealized image and embrace real, meaningful love. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss our upcoming videos on love psychology and personal growth. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Drop a comment below and share your own experience with real love and illusion. We'd love to hear from you.